Integer constants represent immediate values or initial values for constant variables. So in general, if we write an instruction such as move something into register EAX, and the value is 25 by default, the default base or default radix is decimal, so this is a decimal number. If we want to make it a hexadecimal number, we have to use H. Okay, so H suffix represents a hexadecimal base, and this will be a hexadecimal number. But if the number looks like this, A5H, so it starts with a non-conventional digit or digit that is specific only to hexadecimal notation. Assembler requires that it starts with the decimal digit 0 through 9. So you normally prefix hexadecimal value with 0 like this to make sure that there is no confusion about some kind of identifier and the hexadecimal integer constant. We can write a binary initializer, such as, for instance, 1111 000. So if you'd like to use binary numbers like this, you use a Y suffix. Okay, so that's for binary. 0 and Q for octal numbers, and T is decimal. Okay, and D is also if the radix is not hexadecimal. So just remember that you can use all of these bases, including octal. Now, equality directive or assignment of a constant directive is great to create symbolic integer constants. And of course, you should be always, instead of using some magic numbers like this, okay, so we want to be able to use more of a descriptive name for these values. For instance, if the column number is 80, it's good to create a constant using the EQU equality directive, and simply this will be like a macro used during assembly process, and every occurrence of column will be replaced with 80. So if I typically like to add these constants to my constant data segment, but it's not required. It can be placed anywhere in the program. So let's try them just as they are. For an example, we can add them really anywhere in the code. So let's do it right here. And if we want to align this, then okay. So these are, as you can see, that these things become constants. If I want to use this constant now, I can use it anywhere I like. Okay, so assembler will simply look it up in the list of constants created by this EQ directive, and will replace this with 80. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. But of course, something like this is much more readable and makes program much more maintainable, especially if we use this constant in many places in the code. If we have to change it, then we can do it only here in one place, as opposed to searching for every number like this and deciding whether it was a column idea. Okay, so the second type of integer constant can be used with an assignment, okay, like this. So line equals row. Right here you can see that we can reuse these constants, and we can use constant expressions like this as well. But if you say equals, we can reassign them like this. Okay, so if I wanted to, this may be changed. Now, this change typically does not happen like this 2 times in a row. It doesn't make sense. However, this could be done just inside, for instance, a procedure. So right here I may want to say, okay, my line should equal column, and I will change its value and I can explain why, right? So there's an explanation, and we can do these adjustments. So in different procedures, if we have multiple procedures, multiple sections of the code that use a certain set of values for this constant, the initial equality assignment can be updated. Okay, with equal directive, it's a true constant, so it will not be able, you will not be able to change it again. It'll just stuck with its original value right here. So let's try to build. And I'm noticing that once we made a copy of this project and initially deleted .vs subfolder, it'll revert to x64 mode by default. But this is not the assembler that we're actually using right now, so we'll just switch to x86 and then build. Okay, so this builds fine. And these are the examples of equality and assignment like this. So this is all compile time variables. They're recognized by the assembler, but in places where these things are used, a simple replacement is done. So the name is replaced by the value.